19 Strange Things in Indonesia, where women are always ready to sleep with strangers. From smoking volcanoes to festivals where strangers share intimate moments, Indonesia is a land of extremes. Throw in bat meat curry and over 300 unique cultures, and you've got a country unlike any other. Join us as we dive into Strange Things in Indonesia, where women are always ready to sleep with strangers. Number 15. The Intimacy Festival with Strangers. In the heart of Java, an ancient ritual shrouded in controversy and mystique unfolds 7 times a year at the sacred Gunung Kemukus temple. Known as the Pond Festival or the Intimacy Festival with Strangers, this extraordinary event draws thousands of pilgrims and curious onlookers to what locals call the Hill of Love. The festival's origins lie in a tragic tale of forbidden love. Legend speaks of Prince Pangeran Samudro and his stepmother, Nyai Ontrowulan, caught in an intimate moment by outraged villagers. Their story now forms the foundation of a ritual that blurs the lines between spirituality and sexuality. As each festival begins, participants immerse themselves in the holy spring waters surrounding the temple, purifying their bodies and spirits. What follows is a practice that challenges societal norms and raises eyebrows worldwide. These pilgrims, many of whom are married, embark on a quest to find a stranger with whom to share an intimate encounter. This act, they believe, will curry favor with the gods and usher in a flood of blessings and good fortune. The ritual's complexity extends beyond a single liaison. To fully reap the spiritual benefits, participants must rendezvous with the same stranger 7 times over a 35-day period. This requirement transforms a fleeting encounter into a temporary relationship, with contact information exchanged to ensure the ritual's completion. Interestingly, a significant portion of attendees are business owners and entrepreneurs, driven by an unwavering belief that this unconventional practice will unlock the gates to prosperity and success. They join men and women from all walks of life in this shared pursuit of divine intervention. The Pond Festival is not without its share of secrecy and controversy. While some participants openly disclose their involvement to their spouses, many choose to shroud their pilgrimage in mystery. This veil of secrecy only serves to heighten the intrigue surrounding this Javanese ritual, cementing its place as one of the world's most fascinating and debated cultural phenomena. Number 14. Nightlife in Indonesia, a tale of two worlds. Indonesia's festivals offer a unique daytime experience, but the real magic unfolds as the sun sets, heightening the allure of its capital, Jakarta. As twilight falls, the bustling city undergoes a captivating transformation, morphing into a lively nightlife destination. The contrast is striking. High-end entertainment mingles with the shadows of a more provocative underworld. Tourists and locals alike fill popular spots like Blowfish and Dragonfly, where they indulge in top-tier drinks, music, and a vibrant atmosphere. However, beneath the glitz and glamour lies a less savory side of Jakarta's nightlife scene, the world of prostitution and red light districts. Despite the fact that prostitution is illegal in Indonesia and considered a crime against morality, it persists in various forms throughout the city. In the past, Jakarta was home to the notorious Kalijodo red light district, which has since been shut down by the authorities. But like a hydra, when one head is cut off, others emerge to take its place. Today, prostitution continues to thrive, albeit in a more discreet manner, through online dating platforms, massage parlors, and karaoke bars. According to local sources, Jakarta still has 3 primary red light districts. The streets of Mangga Besar in West Jakarta, also known as Little Tokyo, Jalan Jaksa in central Jakarta, and Jalan Pangeran Jayakarta in North Jakarta. These areas remain popular among tourists seeking illicit thrills in the shadows of the city's skyscrapers. Number 13. The Strange Volcano Ceremony. While the city's nightlife pulses with modern energy, Indonesia's cultural heart beats to a different rhythm. High above the clouds, on the slopes of Mount Bromo, one of the country's most active volcanoes, an ancient ritual takes place, blending Hindu beliefs with tribal traditions. The Yajna Kasada festival, hosted by the Tengger Hindu community, is a mesmerizing display of devotion and sacrifice, drawing visitors from around the world to witness this profound cultural experience. The origins of the festival can be traced back to the 15th century legend of Princess Roro Anteng and Joko Seger. The childless couple prayed to the gods for offspring, and their prayers were answered with the promise of 25 children. However, the gods demanded that their last-born child be sacrificed to the volcano as a sign of gratitude. The couple agreed, and thus the tradition of the Yajna Kasada festival was born. Every year, during the full moon of the Kasada month in the Javanese lunar calendar, the Tengger people make a pilgrimage to Mount Bromo. They carry with them offerings of fruits, vegetables, flowers, and even livestock, which they throw into the volcano's smoldering crater as a sign of respect to the mountain gods. Number 12. Unique cuisine. From ancient rituals to modern gastronomy, Indonesia's culinary landscape is as diverse and captivating as its countless islands and cultures. Whether it's the bustling street food scene in Jakarta or the traditional dishes of Papua's remote tribal villages, the country offers a tantalizing array of flavors that challenge and redefine the very idea of a delicacy. One of the most striking aspects of Indonesian cuisine is the use of unusual ingredients and preparation techniques. Take, for example, the Minahasan people of North Sulawesi, who are known for their exotic meat choices. In the region's traditional markets, it's not uncommon to find stalls selling bat, rat, and even dog meat, which are considered local delicacies. Another intriguing dish that showcases Indonesia's culinary creativity is paniki, a spicy curry made from fruit bats. The bats are first grilled or fried to remove the fur, then simmered in a mixture of coconut milk, spices, and herbs. The result is a rich, flavorful dish that is said to have medicinal properties. For the more adventurous palate, Indonesia offers a selection of creepy-crawly snacks. In the highlands of Papua, the Asmat people enjoy sago worms, the larval stage of the Capricorn beetle. These plump white grubs are typically eaten raw, but they can also be roasted or sautéed with vegetables. The taste is often described as creamy and nutty, with a texture similar to coconut meat. Moving from land to sea, the Indonesian island of Lombok is famous for its unique seafood dish, Lombok oysters. These are not your typical oysters, however. Lombok oysters are a type of sea slug, known for their peculiar appearance and aphrodisiac properties. The slugs are boiled or grilled and served with a spicy sauce made from chili peppers, garlic, and shallots. Number 11. The strange custom of living with the dead. While Indonesia's cuisine challenges our taste buds, some of its cultural practices challenge our very perceptions of life and death. Deep in the highlands of South Sulawesi, the Torajan people observe a tradition that is both fascinating and unsettling. In a custom known as manen, the Torajans exhume the bodies of their deceased relatives, dress them in new clothes, and display them in their homes as if they were still alive. This peculiar ritual is rooted in the Torajan belief that death is not the end, but rather a transition to a new phase of existence. The dead are considered to be sick, and it is the responsibility of the living to care for them until they are ready to be buried. This process can take months or even years. The Manin ceremony, which takes place every few years, is a chance for the Torajans to honor their ancestors and strengthen their bond with the deceased. During the ritual, the bodies are removed from their coffins, cleaned, and dressed in new clothes. They are then displayed in a seated position, often with their favorite possessions beside them, as if they were simply resting. Visitors to Torajan villages during Manena are often shocked to see the mummified remains of long-dead relatives sitting in the homes of their descendants. For the Torajans, however, this is a deeply meaningful and comforting practice that allows them to maintain a connection with their loved ones even after death. The Manini ceremony is just one part of the elaborate funeral rites practiced by the Torajans. When a person dies, their body is kept in the family home until a funeral can be arranged, which can take months or even years. During this time, the corpse is treated as if it were still alive, with family members bringing it food, cigarettes, and other offerings. The funeral itself is a grand affair, often involving the sacrifice of dozens of water buffalo and pigs, which are believed to accompany the deceased on their journey to the afterlife. The body is then placed in a coffin and carried to a cave or a cliff face, where it is interred in a tomb carved out of the rock. Number 10. Ban on premarital intimacy and cohabitation. In a shocking contrast to the liberal nature of festivals, Indonesia's criminal code takes a hardline stance against premarital intimacy and cohabitation. Engaging in extramarital affairs can land you in prison for up to a year, while unmarried couples who dare to live together face a 6-month jail sentence. This new law, set to take effect in 3 years, applies not only to Indonesian citizens, but also to foreigners residing in the country. It's a stark reminder that, despite pockets of permissiveness, conservative values still hold sway in many parts of Indonesian society. The severity of punishments for sexual transgressions varies across the archipelago. In the province of Aceh, where Sharia law reigns supreme, public canings are meted out for crimes like adultery, homosexuality, and even simple affection between unmarried couples. In 2021, 2 men were subjected to a brutal 77 lashes each after neighbors reported them for alleged homosexual activity. But the reach of these draconian laws extends beyond Aceh. In 2022, a woman in Indonesia's West Java province was publicly caned 100 times for the crime of adultery. The message is clear. In Indonesia, straying from the path of traditional morality can come at a steep price. Number 9. No drinking alcohol in Indonesia. While some corners of Indonesia embrace the wild and weird, the country takes a decidedly sober stance on alcohol. As the world's largest Muslim-majority nation, Indonesia adheres to Islamic practices and Sharia law, heavily restricting or outright banning the sale and public consumption of alcohol. In many parts of the country, the only places you'll find alcohol for sale are licensed liquor stores, upscale hotels, and tourist resorts. Even then, buyers must present valid identification and may face limits on the amount they can purchase. Drinking in public places like beaches, parks, and public transportation is generally prohibited, and tourists are advised to respect local customs by refraining from imbibing in these areas. The restrictions on alcohol are most keenly felt in places like Aceh province, where Sharia law is enforced with an iron fist. Here, the consumption of alcohol is completely banned, and those caught violating this rule may face harsh punishments, including public caning. But even in more liberal parts of Indonesia, the influence of Islam is never far from the surface. Many local Muslims abstain from alcohol entirely, and those who do partake often do so behind closed doors, away from the disapproving gaze of their more conservative neighbors. Number 8. The mysterious blue-eyed tribe. From nationwide laws to local legends, Indonesia's diversity never ceases to amaze. Nestled in the lush green heart of Buton Island, a small tribe has long been the subject of mystery and fascination. The Buton people, as they are known, are remarkable not just for their rich cultural heritage, but for a striking physical trait that sets them apart from their neighbors: their piercing blue eyes. In a region where dark eyes are the norm, the Buton people's azure irises have long been a source of intrigue and speculation. Some have even whispered that they are descended from ancient European explorers, shipwrecked on the island's shores centuries ago. But the truth, as it turns out, is even more fascinating. The Buton people's blue eyes are the result of a rare genetic condition known as Waardenburg syndrome, which affects the development of pigment in the eyes, skin, and hair. This syndrome, which is caused by a mutation in one of several genes, is extremely rare, occurring in only about 1 in 40,000 people worldwide. Despite their unusual appearance, the Buton people have thrived on their island home for generations. They are skilled farmers and fishermen, with a deep knowledge of the land and sea that sustains them. Their culture is rich in music, dance, and storytelling, with ancient traditions passed down from one generation to the next. In recent years, the Buton people have begun to share their unique heritage with the outside world. Visitors to the island can now experience traditional Buton dances, taste local delicacies, and even stay in authentic Buton villages, where they can learn about the tribe's fascinating history and way of life. But as the modern world encroaches on their island paradise, the Buton people face new challenges. Climate change, deforestation, and the pressures of tourism all threaten to disrupt the delicate balance of their ancestral home. As younger generations leave the island in search of education and opportunity, there are fears that the Buton's unique culture and genetic heritage may slowly fade away. Number 7. Indonesia is the largest archipelago. Indonesia's complexities extend far beyond its cultural practices and laws. This vast and awe-inspiring archipelago, nestled between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, stands as the world's largest island nation. With a staggering 17,508 islands spanning over 3,000 miles from east to west, this tropical paradise boasts an unparalleled diversity of landscapes, cultures, and wildlife. The exact number of islands in Indonesia has been a subject of debate and intrigue for centuries. The Indonesian government officially recognizes 8,844 named islands, but recent surveys by the country's mapping agency have suggested that the total count could be as high as 18,000. This discrepancy arises from the fact that many of Indonesia's smaller islands are submerged during high tide, making it difficult to determine their true number. Despite the uncertainty surrounding its precise island count, there is no denying the sheer magnitude and beauty of the Indonesian archipelago. From the lush rainforests of Sumatra and Borneo to the pristine beaches of Bali and Lombok, the country offers an endless array of natural wonders that captivate the imagination. One of the most striking features of Indonesia's archipelago is its incredible volcanic landscape. The country is home to over 130 active volcanoes, including the notorious Krakatoa, which erupted with catastrophic force in 1883, creating a sound wave that circled the Earth 4 times. Today, visitors can explore the remnants of this volcanic cataclysm at the Krakatau Volcano Park, where they can witness the birth of a new island formed by the volcano's ongoing activity. Indonesia's archipelago also encompasses some of the world's most biodiverse marine environments, including the Coral Triangle, a region that hosts over 75% of the world's known coral species. The Raja Ampat Islands, located off the coast of West Papua, are a diver's paradise, boasting crystal-clear waters, vibrant coral reefs, and an astonishing array of marine life, from tiny pygmy seahorses to majestic whale sharks. Number 6. Biodiversity. As the world's largest archipelago, this nation is a living laboratory of evolution, home to an astonishing array of rare and exotic species. Its lush landscapes provide refuge to over 100 endangered animals, many of which exist nowhere else on Earth. From regal Sumatran tigers prowling misty jungles to mischievous orangutans swinging through Borneo's lush canopy, the Indonesian archipelago offers sanctuary to some of Earth's most captivating creatures. Among these iconic species stands the Komodo dragon, Earth's largest lizard, a behemoth that can stretch up to 10 feet long and tip the scales at over 300 pounds. These ancient reptiles are confined to a mere handful of Indonesian islands, including Komodo, Rinca, and Flores. The Komodo dragon is a creature straight out of prehistory, up to 10 feet of rippling muscle, weighing as much as 950 pounds, covered in thick, scaly armor. With razor-sharp claws and serrated teeth, this living, breathing war machine is perfectly evolved for its role as the unchallenged apex predator of its island domain. These prehistoric giants roam the sun-baked savannas and rugged hillsides of their island kingdoms, hunting prey as diverse as Timor deer, water buffalo, and even their own kind. Their venomous bite delivers a potent cocktail that can trigger rapid blood loss, paralysis, and even shock in their victims, making them one of the few predators capable of bringing down prey as large as a water buffalo. Deeper in Indonesia's forests lurks the Javan rhinoceros, one of the world's rarest mammals. With only around 60 individuals remaining, These elusive giants teeter on the precipice of extinction, their last bastion lying within Ujung Kulon National Park. Indonesia's natural wonders extend beneath the waves, where vibrant coral reefs teem with an underwater carnival of life. The Raja Ampat Islands reign supreme as one of Earth's most biodiverse marine realms, harboring over 1,500 species of fish and 75% of the world's known coral species. Yet, for all its natural splendor, Indonesia's ecological treasures face dire threats from human encroachment. Deforestation, poaching, and climate change cast long shadows over the archipelago's future. Recent years have witnessed a heart-wrenching decline in orangutan populations as voracious palm oil plantations devour vast swathes of pristine rainforest. The once widespread Sumatran elephant now clings to existence in fragmented forest pockets, its population dwindling to a mere 2,400 individuals in the wild. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. The Indonesian city of Surabaya was home to one of Southeast Asia's biggest red light districts, a place where women were always ready to sleep with strangers. Known as Gang Dali, it began as a small collection of brothels in the 1970s, growing into a massive industry with hundreds of prostitutes. But everything changed when the government stepped in, shutting it down and nearly erasing it from existence. Despite the crackdown, remnants of the past still linger in the background. Now, efforts are underway to revitalize the area, transforming it into an economic zone and erasing its controversial legacy. What do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 5. The man who married 88 times. While Indonesia's landscapes teem with natural wonders, its human stories can be equally extraordinary. In a small village in West Java, a 61-year-old farmer named Khan has become something of a local legend, not for his agricultural prowess or his community leadership, but for his astonishing marital history. Over the course of his life, Khan has walked down the aisle a staggering 88 times, earning him the nickname the Marriage King, and a reputation that extends far beyond his humble village. Khan's story first came to light when he shared his tale with a passing YouTuber, who couldn't resist the chance to interview this unlikely Casanova. The video quickly went viral, attracting the attention of journalists and curious onlookers from across Indonesia and beyond. As it turns out, Khan's 88 marriages were not a matter of serial monogamy, but rather a complex web of unions and reunions. Of his 88 trips to the altar, only 40 were officially registered with the local Office of Religious Affairs. The rest were traditional ceremonies, conducted in accordance with local customs and beliefs. Even more surprising, Khan did not divorce each of his wives before moving on to the next. In fact, many of his spouses chose to remain married to him, even as he added new wives to his growing family. As a result, Khan has found himself in the unique position of being married to multiple women at once, a fact that he seems to take in stride. Despite his prodigious marital record, Khan has actually only been married to 46 different women. The discrepancy, he explains, is due to the fact that many of his wives have remarried him multiple times, some as many as 3 or 4 times over the years. The reasons for Khan's unconventional approach to matrimony are as varied as his many wives. Some, he claims, were matters of love and attraction, while others were more practical, such as marriages to widows in need of support. But regardless of the circumstances, Khan insists that each of his marriages was entered into with the utmost respect for his wives and their families. Number 4. Indonesia is home to the world's largest flower. From human legends to botanical marvels, Indonesia's capacity for the extraordinary knows no bounds. Deep within the steamy jungles of Indonesia, a bizarre and captivating wonder awaits those intrepid enough to seek it out. Here, amidst the lush foliage and twisting vines, blooms the Rafflesia arnoldi, a flower of such colossal proportions and strange allure that it has earned the title of the world's largest bloom. But the Rafflesia arnoldi, also known as the corpse flower, is not just remarkable for its size. This titan of the floral world is a true oddity, a parasitic plant with no roots, leaves, or stem of its own. Instead, it lives entirely within the tissues of the tetrastigma vine, emerging only to bloom in a spectacular display that can span over 3 feet in diameter. The flower's massive petals, which can weigh up to 15 pounds, are a sight to behold. Mottled with irregular spots and covered in a texture that resembles raw meat, they give the Rafflesia an almost alien appearance. But it is the flower's scent that truly sets it apart. As its nickname suggests, the corpse flower emits a powerful odor reminiscent of rotting flesh, a pungent aroma that attracts the carrion flies and beetles that serve as its pollinators. For the indigenous people of Sumatra and Borneo, the Rafflesia has long been a source of mystery and folklore. Some tribes believe that the flower's petals can be used to staunch bleeding or cure skin diseases, while others see it as a symbol of the cycle of life and death, a reminder of the impermanence of all living things. Number 3. Indonesia is the best place to see orangutans. While Indonesia may be home to the world's largest flower, it is also a sanctuary for one of our closest living relatives, the orangutan. These gentle, intelligent primates, whose name means person of the forest in the Malay language, are found only on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra, where they have captured the hearts and imaginations of visitors from around the globe. For those hoping to catch a glimpse of these incredible creatures in the wild, Indonesia is unquestionably the best destination. The country's dense rainforests and extensive national park system provide a haven for the world's largest populations of both Bornean and Sumatran orangutans, as well as the newly discovered Tapanuli species. In the lush jungles of Indonesian Borneo, Tanjung Puting National Park is a true paradise for orangutan enthusiasts. Home to the world-renowned Camp Leakey Research Station, the park offers visitors the chance to trek through the forest and observe these amazing primates in their natural habitat. Here, you can watch as mothers teach their young to climb and forage, or witness the incredible sight of a dominant male's massive cheek pads and resounding vocalizations. For those seeking a more immersive experience, the Danam Valley Conservation Area in Sabah is a true wonderland. This 169-square-mile tract of pristine lowland forest is home to a staggering array of wildlife, including pygmy elephants, sun bears, and the elusive clouded leopard. But it is the orangutans that truly steal the show, with the area boasting one of the highest densities of these primates in the world. Across the Java Sea, the island of Sumatra offers its own orangutan encounters. The Gunung Leuser National Park, a sprawling reserve that spans over 3,000 square miles, is home to the critically endangered Sumatran orangutan. Here, visitors can embark on jungle treks to spot these incredible creatures, as well as other iconic species like the Sumatran tiger and the Sumatran rhinoceros. Number 2. The land of majestic volcanoes. From the gentle giants of the forest to the towering titans of fire and stone, Indonesia's natural wonders span an incredible range. Perhaps the most awe-inspiring among these are its volcanoes. With over 400 active volcanoes, Indonesia is a veritable hotbed of volcanic activity, boasting the highest density of these fiery mountains anywhere on Earth. The reason for Indonesia's staggering number of volcanoes lies in its unique geographical position. Straddling the infamous Pacific Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped belt of seismic activity that accounts for 90% of the world's earthquakes and 75% of its active volcanoes, Indonesia sits atop a roiling cauldron of magma and tectonic energy. The result is a landscape of breathtaking beauty and raw power, where towering peaks and smoldering craters dominate the horizon. One of the most iconic of these volcanoes is Mount Merapi, a 9,551-foot behemoth that looms over the city of Yogyakarta in central Java. Known as the Mountain of Fire, Merapi is one of the most active volcanoes in Indonesia, with frequent eruptions that send plumes of ash and smoke billowing into the sky. Despite the danger, the fertile slopes of the volcano are home to thousands of farmers and villagers who coexist with the mountain's fury in a delicate balance of risk and reward. But Indonesia's volcanoes are not just a source of danger and destruction. They are also a vital part of the country's economy and way of life. The mineral-rich soils that blanket the slopes of these mountains are a boon to agriculture, with crops like coffee, spices, and tropical fruits thriving in the nutrient-dense earth. For centuries, Indonesians have harnessed the geothermal energy that bubbles up from the depths of the earth, using it to power homes, businesses, and even entire villages. Perhaps most fascinating of all is the role that Indonesia's volcanoes play in the country's rich spiritual and cultural traditions. For many of Indonesia's indigenous peoples, these mountains are sacred places, imbued with the power and presence of ancient gods and spirits. From the elaborate ceremonies of the Tenggeres people at Mount Bromo to the reverent offerings left at the crater rim of Bali's Mount Agung, Indonesia's volcanoes are not just geological wonders, but living embodiments of the country's deep connection to the natural world. Number 1. Keeping distance from women. Beyond its natural wonders, Indonesia's social landscape offers its own form of intrigue. In this diverse archipelago, ancient traditions and modern realities often collide in fascinating and unexpected ways. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the complex social norms and gender roles that govern interactions between men and women. For visitors to Indonesia, one of the most important things to keep in mind is the need to maintain a respectful distance from women, particularly in areas where Islamic influences are strong. In many parts of the country, close physical contact between men and women who are not married or related is considered inappropriate, and even seemingly innocent gestures like hugging or holding hands can be seen as offensive or disrespectful. This is particularly true in more conservative areas like Aceh province, where Sharia law is strictly enforced and interactions between unmarried men and women are heavily regulated. Here, women are expected to dress modestly, covering their hair and wearing loose-fitting clothing that conceals the shape of their bodies. Men, too, are expected to dress conservatively and avoid any behavior that could be seen as flirtatious or improper. But even in more liberal parts of Indonesia, it's important for visitors to be mindful of local customs and sensibilities when interacting with women. In general, it's best to avoid making direct physical contact with Indonesian women unless they initiate it themselves. If a woman does offer her hand for a handshake, it's customary to grasp it gently and bring your own hand to your chest as a sign of respect. When speaking with Indonesian women, it's also important to maintain a respectful tone and avoid any language or behavior that could be seen as overly familiar or suggestive. This is particularly true when interacting with older women, who are often seen as figures of authority and respect within Indonesian society. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.